Behind the intense blue color of blueberries, there is a story that almost no one tells. They have been called the fruit of longevity and top superfood lists around the world. But the latest science shows that after age 60, what you don't know about them may be preventing them from fulfilling their role and in some cases, may even be harming your health. These little spheres contain compounds so powerful that they act as a natural shield against inflammation, cognitive decline, and circulatory problems. That's why millions of people consume them every day, believing they are doing the best thing for their bodies. But there's one crucial detail: how you consume them, and what you combine them with, can completely change the story. After age 60, the body responds to food differently. Absorption changes, the gut microbiota transforms, and glucose sensitivity can become more delicate. It is in this gap that some seemingly harmless habits begin to negate benefits and, worse, make room for silent inflammatory reactions. If you've always believed that blueberries are good for your health, get ready to discover how to turn them into true allies and prevent them from becoming a hidden villain on your plate. If this revelation has already surprised you, watch this video now, because you're about to learn truths that almost no one dares to tell you about this little fruit. Why, after all, have blueberries gained superfood status? The answer lies in a unique set of bioactive compounds that nature has concentrated in these small fruits. Among them, anthocyanins, pigments responsible for their deep blue color, are the big stars. They act as powerful antioxidants, neutralizing free radicals before they cause damage to cells. In addition, blueberries are rich in polyphenol, which help reduce chronic inflammation, which silently settles in the body and is linked to heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and even cognitive decline. They also contain fiber that promotes intestinal transit, regulates blood sugar, and nourishes the microbiota, strengthening one of the body's main lines of defense. Studies show that people who consume blueberries regularly experience improvements in short-term memory, blood circulation, and even blood vessel elasticity. It's as if these little blueberries send a daily boost to the immune system and brain health. But here's the thing: a shield is only effective if it's intact. And as the years go by, some cracks begin to appear, cracks that can be opened by seemingly harmless food choices. What you're about to see is exactly where protection begins to fail, and why this happens more often after age 60. After age 60, the body undergoes subtle but profound changes that directly affect how it uses nutrients. Digestion tends to slow down, the absorption of certain compounds decreases, and metabolism adapts to a different rhythm. This means that even antioxidant-rich foods, such as blueberries, may not deliver the same impact they once did. One of the key points is bioavailability, the body's ability to absorb and use the nutrients present in food. With aging, stomach acidity may decrease, impairing the breakdown of fiber and the release of active compounds. At the same time, the gut microbiota, the collection of beneficial bacteria that aid digestion, undergoes changes, reducing the efficiency with which these substances are metabolized. Another factor is glucose sensitivity. Although blueberries have a low glycemic index, combining them with foods rich in simple sugars or refined starches can cause more pronounced glucose spikes. With age, the body becomes less efficient at dealing with these spikes, favoring inflammatory processes that counteract the protective effect that the fruit should offer. The result? A shield that was once solid begins to show small cracks. And when these cracks accumulate, the body loses some of the protection we believe we are gaining. And there is something even more curious and worrying. There are very common combinations in breakfast or snacks that can practically neutralize the antioxidant power of blueberries, without most people having the slightest idea. Most people add blueberries to recipes thinking only about taste or convenience, without realizing that the combination they choose can drastically reduce the benefits. A common example is sweetened or flavored yogurt. Although it seems like a healthy option, the excess simple sugar and artificial additives interfere with the action of anthocyanins, reducing their antioxidant capacity. Another frequent villain is found in ultra-processed breakfast cereals. Even those labeled whole grain may contain refined flours and syrups that quickly raise blood glucose levels. This creates an inflammatory environment in the body, which is exactly the opposite of what blueberries are supposed to promote. And there is even a combination that surprised scientists. Some dairy products, especially those high in saturated fat and processed, can bind to the polyphenol in the fruit and reduce their absorption. One study found that mixing blueberries with certain processed whole milk or cream can negate up to 80% of their antioxidant activity. What makes this information concerning is that these habits are very common, especially at breakfast. It's easy to imagine a bowl of cereal, milk, and blueberries as something nutritious, but in practice, this combination may be wasting much of the fruit's protective potential. And that brings us to an even more sneaky enemy present in many of these combinations: hidden sugar, which not only steals the benefits of blueberries but also accelerates processes that we want to avoid as much as possible after age 60. Sugar is perhaps the most disguised saboteur of the modern diet, and it doesn't just show up in obvious desserts. Many people consume blueberries in apparently healthy products, such as cereal bars, ready-made juices, fit yogurts, and even salad dressings that contain concentrated natural sweeteners. The problem is that even in small amounts, this extra sugar can drastically alter the body's response. When eaten with blueberries, simple sugar causes spikes in blood glucose. The body responds by releasing insulin to try to control these levels, but in people over 60, this regulation tends to be slower and less efficient. The result? Systemic inflammation, oxidative stress, and cell overload, exactly the processes that the anthocyanins in blueberries are supposed to fight. In addition, frequent consumption of hidden sugar increases the risk of insulin resistance, which not only impairs metabolism but also affects vascular and cognitive health. It's like trying to put out a fire while pouring gasoline on it at the same time. What's most concerning is that this sugar is found where you least expect it: in the extra honey drizzled over fruit, in processed fruit syrups, or in ready-made smoothies marketed as super healthy. All of this can turn a protective meal into a trigger for chronic inflammation. And if sugar is already a problem on its own, it becomes even more harmful when combined with another factor that is inevitable with age: internal changes in how the body functions after age 60. This is where understanding physiology becomes essential to truly reap the benefits of blueberries.
What many people don't realize is that the body itself, over the decades, changes the way it deals with food, and this directly influences the impact of blueberries. Starting at age 60, there is a natural reduction in muscle mass and basal metabolism, which means that the body expends less energy to maintain its functions. This slowdown affects everything from digestion to nutrient utilization. Another point is the gut microbiota. Beneficial bacteria, which help metabolize polyphenol and fiber, can decrease in variety and efficiency. This reduces the conversion of compounds present in blueberries into active substances that actually circulate in the blood and protect cells and tissues. There is also a decrease in the efficiency of the body's internal antioxidant defense system. Our bodies produce antioxidant enzymes to neutralize free radicals, but this production declines with age. As a result, we become more dependent on antioxidants from our diet, and for this very reason, we cannot waste them with combinations that reduce their absorption. And we can't forget about glucose sensitivity. Even though blueberries have a low glycemic index, when the body is less efficient at controlling glucose, any imbalance in a meal can cause spikes that counteract the protective effects of the fruit. But there is good news. Just as certain combinations can reduce the benefits, others can enhance the action of blueberries, turning each serving into a real boost for the body's defenses. And that is exactly what we are going to explore now. While some food choices can negate some of the potential of blueberries, others can amplify their effects in surprising ways. The key is to combine the fruit with ingredients that complement and reinforce its antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. One example is whole oats. Rich in soluble fiber, they help control glucose absorption and keep antioxidants circulating in the body longer. When combined with blueberries, they create the perfect environment for stabilizing blood sugar and prolonging the protective effect. Another powerful ally is walnuts and almonds. Their healthy fats not only promote the absorption of polyphenol, but also offer additional anti-inflammatory compounds, working together with the anthocyanins in blueberries. Green tea is also worth mentioning. It contains catechins, another type of antioxidant that works synergistically with the compounds in the fruit to protect cells and blood vessels. A simple meal, such as a handful of blueberries with a handful of walnuts and a cup of green tea, can offer more protection than each food alone. And let's not forget sugar-free fermented foods, such as natural kefir or plain Greek yogurt. They repopulate the gut microbiota with beneficial bacteria, optimizing the metabolism of the compounds present in blueberries. When these foods are combined on your plate, your body receives a true defense combo, multiplying the fruit's effectiveness and helping to reverse the natural wear and tear that comes with aging. And to get even more out of them, it's important to understand that the timing of your blueberry consumption can also make all the difference in reaping the benefits. Few people think about it, but the timing of consumption can greatly influence the effect of blueberries on the body. After age 60, this attention becomes even more important, as metabolic efficiency changes and sensitivity to glucose spikes or energy drops may be greater. Eating blueberries early in the day, for example, can be an excellent strategy for taking advantage of their antioxidant power during the hours when the body is most exposed to oxidative factors such as pollution, stress, and even solar radiation. By eating them with fiber or lean protein for breakfast, you slow down the absorption of the fruit's natural sugars, maintaining stable energy levels and avoiding sudden fluctuations in glucose. After light exercise, such as a walk or stretching session, blueberries can aid muscle recovery and reduce inflammation caused by exertion. This is especially valuable for maintaining mobility and strength in older adults. What should be avoided is consuming them at times when they are accompanied by desserts rich in sugar or refined carbohydrates, such as after a heavy dinner. In these cases, the antioxidant effect can be partially neutralized by the inflammatory spike generated by other foods. The message is clear. It is not enough to simply include blueberries in your diet. You need to think about when and with what they are eaten. And this attention should be even greater for those who take medication, because for some people, blueberries can interact with treatment in unexpected ways. Although they are natural and nutritious, blueberries are not exempt from interactions with certain medications, something that deserves extra attention after age 60. One of the best-known points involve their slight natural anticoagulant effect, due to the flavonoids and vitamin K present in small amounts. For those who use medications such as warfarin or other anticoagulants, sudden changes in fruit consumption can alter the effectiveness of treatment. Another aspect is the interaction with oral hypoglycemic agents and insulin. As blueberries help regulate blood sugar, consuming them in combination with these medications may, in some cases, enhance the effect and lead to more pronounced drops in glucose, something that should be monitored to avoid episodes of hypoglycemia. There is also evidence that antioxidant compounds present in blueberries may influence the metabolism of certain drugs in the liver, interfering with the speed at which they are processed. This does not mean that the fruit is prohibited, but it reinforces the importance of maintaining a consistent pattern of consumption and always informing your doctor or nutritionist of the amount and frequency with which it is present in your diet. The real danger is not in the fruit itself, but in the lack of information. Consciously adjusting consumption allows you to reap all the benefits of blueberries without unnecessary risks. And to find out if they are really working for you, there is a simple method. Observe clear signs that your body sends you, that often go unnoticed. The body is a silent but extremely accurate communicator. When blueberries are fulfilling their role of protecting and nourishing, some positive signs begin to appear, and noticing them can be the key to adjusting your diet in a smart way. Among the most common signs are improved energy throughout the day, with less fatigue in the afternoon, lighter and more regular digestion, as a result of fiber and its positive effect on the microbiota, and even small visible changes in the skin, which tends to become more vibrant and hydrated, thanks to the reduction of inflammatory processes. On the cognitive side, many people report greater mental clarity and agility in remembering names, tasks, or details of everyday life. This is because the antioxidants in blueberries help protect neural connections from the natural wear and tear of aging. On the other hand, if eating the fruit is accompanied by fatigue, bloating, mood swings, or slow digestion, it may be a sign that something in the combination or timing of consumption is compromising its effect. Observing these signs for a week or two can already provide valuable clues about how your body is reacting.
Small adjustments in the amount, timing, or foods that accompany blueberries can transform the result. And to make it even easier, there is a simple method for putting together a dish that maximizes all the benefits of the fruit without wasting any of its potential. Creating a meal that truly harnesses the full power of blueberries doesn't have to be complicated, but it does require attention to detail. The goal is to combine the fruit with ingredients that stabilize glucose, promote antioxidant absorption, and support gut health. A good base is whole oats or cooked quinoa, which are rich in soluble fiber. They form a kind of net that slows the absorption of the fruit's natural sugars, keeping energy levels stable. On top of this base, add a handful of fresh or frozen blueberries. Both retain most of their bioactive compounds. Also include sources of healthy fat, such as walnuts, almonds, or chia seeds. These fats not only increase satiety, but also aid in the absorption of polyphenol and prolong the antioxidant effect. For an extra touch of protection, add sugar-free fermented foods such as natural kefir or plain Greek yogurt. They strengthen the gut microbiota, optimizing the utilization of blueberry compounds. And if you want to further enhance the protective potential, finish with a cup of green tea or an antioxidant-rich herbal infusion. This simple and strategic dish can be included in breakfast or an afternoon snack, ensuring that each serving of blueberries works to its fullest potential. If you know someone who eats blueberries every day without knowing these strategies, share this video. It may be just what they need to turn a habit into a real health ally. Now, to wrap things up, it's worth reinforcing an essential message. Blueberries remain one of nature's most powerful fruits, as long as they are used wisely. Blueberries have taken the world by storm as a symbol of health, and rightly so. Each tiny blueberry contains an arsenal of compounds that can protect the heart, preserve memory, strengthen natural defenses, and fight the silent inflammation that accompanies aging. But, as we've seen, it's not enough to just put them on your plate. You need to know how, when, and with what to consume them so that all that potential really works in your favor. After 60, every food choice counts. Small adjustments such as avoiding sugar-rich combinations, including fiber and healthy fats, eating at strategic times, and maintaining consistency can transform a common habit into a powerful prevention tool. And perhaps the most important lesson is this: there is no such thing as a miracle food in isolation. The real power lies in your dietary strategy, in the set of decisions that, day after day, build a more protected and resilient body. Blueberries are a valuable piece of this puzzle, but they depend on the right context to shine. If you apply what you've learned here, you'll feel the difference not only in the taste of your meals, but also in your energy, mental clarity, and vitality to enjoy every moment of life. Subscribe to the channel to receive more content like this, full of practical science and tips that work in everyday life. Together, we can turn every meal into a real investment in your future.